What's good, everybody? I want to share my first impressions on the Zcam E2 S6 before I add any accessories on it. So this would be a straight out of the box review. When you receive your Zcam, the only thing that you're going to get in the box is the camera body, the antenna, and the D-tap connector. Now this isn't enough to get started with shooting, so if you don't have a few of these accessories laying around that I'm about to mention, you might want to get those ordered the same day that you order your camera. The first thing you're going to need for this camera is the power supply. Of course, if you don't have power, you can't use the camera. Like, that's pretty obvious. Luckily enough, I had a few batteries laying around the house from my Atmos Ninja Flame. There's also another power option that you can use for the Zcam, which is a V-mount battery. To me, I think this option is the best option because you can also power your monitor with this V-mount battery as well. And it will last much longer than the MP batteries, which is still pretty decent for battery life. Now that you got your camera up and running, the next thing that you're going to need is storage to store the files that you're recording. I'm coming from a Canon C100 Mark II, so I only had SD cards laying around the house. Those cards were pretty much useless because the Zcam S6 takes CFast cards. So if you're anything like me, just know that you're going to have to upgrade to the CFast cards, which are like SD cards. They're just a little bit larger and they read and write much faster than SD cards to be able to capture those large files. So once you do those two things I just mentioned, you're pretty much ready to shoot. Give or take, you got a lens laying around that you could throw on a camera. My first impressions out of the box was how small this camera actually was. When I picked up the box at first, it felt heavy, but that was from most of the padding to protect the camera. And it was pretty light. Now I can say once I added this 18 to 35 Sigma on it, it is really like front heavy. So I'm definitely going to have to build this out, get that small rig, add some weight to the back, probably slap a V-mount battery on it. But all in all, like if I was just to go out and shoot like this, it would be pretty much impossible. Like I at least need a side grip or a top handle or something. But I actually tried to, take it out and shoot like this just to see if push come to shove, if you just wanted to get this straight out of the box for whatever reason and try to shoot like this, if it was possible, and it's like impossible. You have this little screen right here that is not touch screen, so you have to use these buttons to navigate through your aperture, your ISO, any other settings you want to correct. You have to use this little, I don't even know what size screen this is. It's probably a 2-inch, 3-inch. I'll let you know for sure once I actually look at the specs because I don't want to tell you guys the wrong thing. But it's really unusable. I tried connecting the app with my iPhone and that was a process. I watched a few videos and after like 30 minutes of trying, I finally got it to connect. For some reason, I kept running into an error saying that I couldn't connect to the actual Zcam Wi-Fi. I don't know what that was about. I sent the email to Zcam and like soon as I sent that email, it just started working. So that was kind of weird, but ended up working out. Now with that app, it did make things a little easier because I could control my ISO, aperture, white balance, any other settings that I wanted to with my iPhone, and I was able to see what I was shooting because I definitely couldn't see from this little screen that I have here. Yeah, this screen is really small, so I think they made up for that by creating that app for you. And it's pretty efficient because not only can you see what you're recording, but you could actually control the camera. You could adjust the aperture, white balance, or whatever other settings that you need to adjust. And another thing that really caught me off guard was that like it had false color and it had focus peaking. So it's like you really have an advanced monitor on your iPhone. So I just thought that was pretty cool and dope. Being as though they gave us this little screen, so they was like, here, we're gonna make up for it. We're gonna get this to you. So I thought that was cool. Outside of that, it's a pretty solid camera. I'm not worried about durability or anything. The buttons feel pretty sturdy. The only issue was that coming from the Canon, everything was kind of user friendly. I was able to just really navigate the menus well. With this Zcam, I'm not gonna lie, it is a lot different. But like I said, you have the app, so if you want to just control it from the app, even if you have your monitor set up to the camera, you can still use the app to control those settings. So that's a good workaround for me right now. Eventually I'm going to do the same thing I did with my C100 and change the button settings so that each one of these buttons could be for a specific thing. Like I might make F1 for the aperture, you know, things like that. So it's not really a big deal, but this just is my first impressions. It just kind of catching me off guard trying to navigate these menus, but all in all, I can't really complain. The last thing I want to get my first impressions on is the picture quality. So I shot a few shots with this camera. I'm not going to upload it in this video because I want to do a separate video specifically for the footage that I shot. But it was mind-blowing, honestly. I'm coming from, again, the Canon C100. No knock to this. It's been great. It's still a great camera. But coming from basically 1080p footage, it's 4K downsampled to 1080p. It's just having this 6K footage is really mind-blowing. Now, I'm not going to shoot every project in 6K because the file sizes are OC. Like, that's pretty much straightforward. But just to have that dynamic range and to have the footage from this camera was like mind-blowing, honestly. I was able to actually adjust the ISO and the color temperature in post. And I'm not talking about like, you know, with the, you know, the Adobe Premiere sliders. Like they actually have a setting within Adobe where you can actually adjust the raw file of the footage. So that was pretty cool as well. So I'm excited, honestly. I think it's because it's new and I haven't had anything like it. It's hard for me to really find anything I don't like, but I'm sure within the next couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, I'll probably have some things that just keep happening or keep repeating itself, and I'm going to be like, all right, that's pretty annoying. But I'll be sure to update you guys on that when that time comes, if it comes. And yeah, okay, hold on. I almost forgot to mention one thing. This may not be important to a lot of you, so if this doesn't pertain to you, you could just go ahead and click off the video. It's been great. Thanks for watching if you made it this far. But this is for the beginners and the people that's coming from DSLRs or smaller cameras to this camera. Earlier in the video, I mentioned getting your batteries with your MP batteries and also your storage with your CFast cards. Another thing I forgot to mention during that time was you will need a CFast card reader to get the footage from your camera to the computer. So you can get one of these on Amazon for $20, $30. I'll link everything that I mentioned in this video in the description. So if you're just getting started, don't worry, don't feel pressure. Everything will be right there and you'll be able to see what the cost of each thing is and you could plan that out before you buy the camera. So again, if you made it this far, thank you for watching the video. I will be dropping more content related to the Zcam, so if that's something that you're interested in, definitely hit that subscribe button and also click that like button. I will see you guys in the next video. I appreciate it.